Okay, everyone, welcome back to Breslov Efrat here at Shira David. Baruch Hashem, it's so good to be back. It's good to see everybody again. Baruch Hashem. We're going to be starting now in Likutey Halachos V'siyata D'Shmaya with Hashem's help. Halachos Tefilin, and we're going to do Halacha Beis. Now, Halacha Beis is very, 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 very intense, very deep. So we're going to have to do a nice introduction on Halacha Beis to understand anything that's going on in Halacha Beis. Okay? So first, let's understand a few things. We're going to go back. We're going to go back to the before, during the creation of the world, right? Back then. So what happened? We know there's a concept of Shviras HaKelim, right? HaKadosh Baruch Hu made worlds, and there was shattered vessels. You heard those words before, the shattered vessels, right? So what does all that mean, and what happened with those shattered vessels, and where are those shattered vessels? And how did they shatter? How did they shatter? You ever think about that? Right? These shattered vessels, right? So what happened? Hashem dropped it and it shattered? How did it break?
Yeah.
How did the Kalim break?
People maybe overdid.
No, not people. It's before people. Before people. HaKadosh Baruch Hu had these Kalim in Shemayim, and he put light. He put his light into these Kalim. The light's very, very powerful, right? So what happened? The Kalim exploded. That was the shattering of the vessel. How can I'll give you an example for that, right? If I took an electronic device that's meant to work on 120 volts, and I plugged it into 220, what's going to happen? It'll blow up, right? It'll go on fire or whatever, right? Hey, what's the problem? It's electric. It's electric, right? Why should it do that? It's too much electric, right? Too much. So the question is, why did Hashem do that? Why did Hashem put too much light in the Kalim? Why did he do that?
Because he wanted us to go chase the...
Wait. Very good. One second. Wait. Very good. One second. So he put too much light in the Kalim, so the Kalim should explode. They should shatter. Now, what happened to the light?
It's gone.
Huh?
It's gone.
No, the light stayed in Shemayim. It's in Atzilut.
Yeah.
The light stayed there.
Yeah.
The Kalim shattered. The Kalim fell, right? The Kalim fell down. The Kalim fell to the world of Bria. The Kalim fell to the world of Yetzirah, and most of them fell into this world of Asiya, right? The four worlds, right? The light, right. The light of Hashem is in the Atzilut, right? The Kalim fell down, right? So far, so good? Yeah. Most of the Kalim fell down here. Why did Hashem have the Kalim fall down over here?
Pick it up.
To allow for Bechira. To allow for Bechira. Why? These Kalim say, hey, you know something? They allow for the Metzios in the world that there's no Hashem. The Kalim allow for the Metzios. Hashem wanted there to be this possibility for a man to say, there is no God. He wanted that. He wanted man to be able to have that ability to say, there is no God. Why? So then we can have Bechira. So we can have free choice. If it was very clear, if Hashem's light was very prevalent in the world, who would ever do anything wrong? Right? We were just discussing a few minutes ago, right? Why did people do what they do?
Ignorance, yeah.
They don't know, right? Why? Because of these Kalim that fell down. The Kalim fell down, and they're here, and these Kalim want to make something for themselves. You understand? The Kalim want to make something for themselves.
The Kalim?
Yeah, these shards.
In other words, everything that is good.
These from the vessel that shattered, the shards fell down. Okay, let me rephrase it. Okay, the shards fell down into this world. Now these shards of those vessels that shattered, okay, they make it. They give the ability in the world to be able for a person to say that there's just this world. There's just this world. There's nothing else. And that's what people do today, right? But we have people that understand that that's not true, right? and that's our bechira, right? Last night when Yossi was discussing the chayvus halavavis, right? The 10 levels of betachin, right? What we were discussing there? We were discussing what is betachin. What is this betachin? Right? What is it? Betachin is acting out what I believe, right? I have emunah. I believe in Hashem, right? I believe in the Torah, and I believe in Eretz Yisrael, and I believe in the Jewish people, and I even believe in myself, right? That's emunah, right? Right? We believe in all people, right? But what's betachin is when I have to actually act out, demonstrate what I believe inside. When I believe, right? Mordechai, you were just asking when you're davening, what's kavan in davening? It's the same idea, right? You believed it's God, right? You have that belief inside. But how does it manifest itself? How does what you believe manifest itself?
By actions I take.
By the actions. You take the action is the betachin. Right? That's demonstrating what you believe. Because you're doing it. Right? You only do things what you believe in, right? Again, that goes back to the koyach hamedama, right? The imagination, right? It all goes back to that imagination, right? Because again, when I believe in my imagination, it leads me to do different things during the day and in my life, correct? Right? People believe that there's going to be, if they believe in Torah and they believe in Hashem, so we're going to follow Hashem. We're going to follow the Torah. We understand hashgacha pratis, right? We understand that everything Hashem does in the world, He does for a good reason. He has a good reason for everything He does, and that's believing in Hakadosh Baruch Hu, right? So again, back. The idea was that Hakadosh Baruch Hu filled the kalim with too much light. He knew, he planned it. He planned this. In other words, this wasn't an accident. See, people think it's an accident. No, it wasn't an accident. It was mamish planned. He put the exact amount of light in the keli to know that yes?
You have the kalim, and then you have the shard that's inside.
The keli is the vessel.
Right.
The vessel.
What's the shard?
The shard is when you break the kli. When you break it.
Picture being
Take a cup. You have a bowl. You have pottery, one second. You have a pottery bowl. You have a beautiful pottery bowl, and you're washing it and you're cleaning it, and the next thing you know, it falls out of your hand. What happens to it? There's all those pieces all over the place, right? Yeah. Would you call those shards?
I have no idea. That's
what would you call them? What would you call the broken pieces?
Piece of pottery.
Okay, but you can also call them shards.
Okay, well, I didn't understand.
So,
okay.
That's fine,
Yes, yeah.
Can I suggest that everything good that I find in life is the shard of the kelim?
No, 1 second. Let's hold on a second. Hold on. So now these nitzites that we have, these sparks that we're talking about, they're in the world.
The shards.
These shards, these
nitzites. Going from shards to sparks. So
sparks and shards are the same word. Okay. In Hebrew, we use the word nitzot. It's a nitzot, so it's a spark, right? Okay. What's a nitzot in Hebrew?
It's spark.
A spark, right. Nitzot, right. It's spark. So it has a spark. It has a spark of something in there. Now, the thing is now these shards try to always attack us when we go by because they really come from holiness, right? The shard knows itself. It came where it came from. That piece knows where it came from, right? Yeah. Reb Nosson brings this in Hilchas Birchas Hareach, this idea, right? When people go to certain places, there's these in distant places, right? So the shard may attach itself to the neshama because it knows where it came from. The neshama comes from the place of Atzilut, right? Okay. Right. We said the Kisei HaKavod is in Atzilut, right? That's where the light is, and that's where the kli came from. So the spark wants to attach itself to the neshama because the neshama comes from that same place. It feels at home, right? The shard feels at home with the neshama of the Jew because the neshama of the Jew comes from that same place where it originally came from.
So would it also be saying that the soul that is within us is also a shard? So it's a piece of God?
No. That's not a shard. No, that's an actual. No. That's No, that's alive. Then the spark is from a kli, it's from a vessel.
Right.
Okay, the neshama that we have is alive and well. It lives forever. The neshama lives for eternity.
Right. So I'm trying to understand the connection between my soul and Hashem, because in other words, you could think of it like a piece of Hashem, but it's not really.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a chelik ilikam mimal. Right? We say, what is it? Oran, you want to translate for us? What does a chelik ilikam mimal mean? A piece
of Hashem.
Of Hashem from above.
From above. We part of His creation. So we're part
We
of
have
His creation. So
a part of Hashem inside of us.
Okay, so
we
it's a
are in the
piece.
frequency. We're part of it.
But
In
then
the
it's
Oh,
frequency.
but Hashem is everything. You have to remember that also. Remember we
Right.
learned that?
So-
When we learned that concept of the Kodesh Baruch Hu is Mekoy Mai Shel Olam, Ve'ena Olam Mekoy Mai, right? He is, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the world. He's everything in the world.
So why do we say we have a piece? Because in a sense you're saying we all are Hashem.
No. So the purpose is, so these shards that Hashem put in the world, right, in order to allow for bechira, for free choice, for man to claim that there's no God, right? He wanted that. So that way we can claim that there is God. You understand? There's a balance. Hashem makes everything zelu mazeh asa lekim. You heard that before? Okay. HaKadosh Baruch Hu keeps balance. He keeps everything balanced. The sides of impurity to the side of purity. Purity and impurity is always equal. Has to be equal. Right? Right? It has to be.
You see it in our bite.
It has to be. It has to be. Okay?
So what happened to the excess light that the
That stays up in Shemayim. That's what we're going to be learning about.
Okay.
That's what we're going to be learning about. That's exactly the point. Excellent. Excellent point. The light didn't fall down. Now, when you say words, we're going to learn. I'm giving you a lot of concepts now. We're going to go through this, but I just want you to hear the concepts, okay? When you say words, right? We're talking about tefillah. I was so happy that you brought this up this morning because this is really what we're talking about. This is what this is going to be about. When you say words, what are you actually doing?
Well, I have been taught that I'm creating something.
What are you creating? You're creating kalim. You're creating vessels.
Okay.
So that way Hashem can fill the light into your new vessel.
So that way you can bring more light.
Into the world, into
world.
into the world, through our speech. Through our speech, right? Through our speech. Right? That's what it means when you say the blessing, right? And you say the blessing, Hashem says that I will bless, right? Hashem says I will give blessing. What's the blessing? That's the light that Hashem puts in the vessel that you created. And that's how we can bring light down to us each time. That's why it's so important to say the words of tefillah.
Okay, so in tefillah, as the Tanya explained it, is the Shema and the Amidah.
Okay, yeah, no, tefillah in Shulchan Aruch really is Shemon Esrei. That's tefillah.
Shemon Esrei, right.
But we're talking about here. We're extending it a little bit more. Okay, tefillah is any time you talk to Hashem.
Okay.
When you have your esbodedus, you're speaking to Hashem, no matter what languages. If you but you have to recognize you're talking to Hashem. That's the point. People can talk. They're talking to themselves. But no, if you don't, you have to make that recognition. I am talking now to Hashem. Wow.
So why don't we
focus on that, right?
It would be distracting, but I'm thinking about why don't we do Hitbodedut instead of all of these other things that I don't understand before we get to
So originally, wait a second. So originally, that's the way it was supposed to be.
Right.
That's the way it was. There was no set tefillah.
Yeah.
And people were very in touch with God,
Right.
and they were able to speak to God on a regular basis.
Right.
But then the Anshe Knesset Hagadola, the great rabbis of the Great Assembly, right? The Great Assembly, does that make sense? Right? The Great Assembly?
Motion and
Right. No, later, the 72. Yeah, later.
There was no temple.
Right. So they realized, wait a second, the Jewish people are losing this art of being able to express themselves to Hashem.
We lost the korbanos.
Yeah, no.
I mean, that's what the korbanos.
You're right. You're right. But even after the karbanis, there was a period of time that we still were able to talk to Hashem. But then they recognized that this is not going to go on. This is not going to sustain itself. It's unsustainable. We need some kind of structure. They realize that we're going to need structure. If we don't have structure,
destroyed our Hibada.
no.
Yes, they did. No, why didn't they say, listen, this is when you talk to God and teach them how to talk to God, as opposed to
Because
No.
no.
Mordechai, careful what you say. Careful. In other words, they knew what they were doing. There has to be a structure to set my mind. How would I know what I can say, what I shouldn't say, what I can do, what I can't? How would we know?
Child.
Well, you know what I do is I take out the crossing the narrow bridge.
Yeah.
I open up to Hibada, and he put me all kinds of things in my brain that I can say to God. And connect
Exactly.
with him.
But you had a book. You had something. It was written down.
But
you
it
use
wasn't-
it. No, but you're missing. See, that's the point. Before, there were no books like that. There were no books. It was all Torah Shebal Peh. It was all oral. There was no book. There was the Torah. That was the only book that we had. There was no other book, right? Then we had the oral law that went with the book, right? That was the book.
Oral.
It was all oral. Everyone understood it. Everyone knew it. Everyone understood it, right? We were in touch with it, right? But we lost that, right? Like you said, when the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed, and we lost the carbon atomid shel shachris and the tamid shel bein ha'abayim, and we lost that carbon tamid, the sacrifice that was brought in the morning and the sacrifice that was brought in the afternoon. We lost that ability to have forgiveness for our sin, right? The carbon brought the forgiveness for us, which cleaned us up, so we're able to have again it cleaned up the pollution. Let's put it like that, right? We pollute ourselves. Let's phrase it like this, okay? When we do things wrong, we do an avera, we're creating pollution, right? It's pollution, right? The carbon cleans up the pollution. It's an air filter. It cleans up all the pollution. So now if you have no pollution, no fog, it's clear. So now you can talk with Hashem. You understand? Mm-hmm. So that's why we got off the tangent, but that's fine.
But it's not really off a tangent because it's troubling to me.
Well, okay.
It's troubling because today we're trying to get people back to talking to God. And that's what we were doing. And
but you do it through tefillah. You do it.
Tefillah, but not through the Sukkah de Zimra.
Yeah, the Sukkah. No. If you study, okay, listen, Rabbi Mordechai, if you study, what's Sukkah de Zimra? It's Tehillim.
Right.
Sukkah de Zimra is Tehillim.
It's someone else talking to God.
No.
David.
No. King David wrote that book for you to speak to God.
It's easy to do.
It's his is for you. He wrote it for you.
Sometimes I feel like I'm reading Shakespeare.
No.
No, because I don't understand it. It's like...
Because you're not spending the time to understand it. Read the with a beauty.
If I talk to God directly, I understand what I'm saying. I don't have to try and figure out what someone else wrote. This is really because I feel like I had to get back to Habadadu. And that's what created the connection with Hashem. It's not reading what someone else said.
No. Okay, no.
Or what he's trying to teach us to do. It doesn't look like he's trying to teach us about Habadadu when we read the Sukkah de Zimra. Now maybe
it's not his bodedud. It's not. His bodedud is your own words talking to Hashem. Sukkah de Zimra is what the Anshe Knesset Gedolah set us up so that we can daven to Hashem to get our tefillah to be answered. See, it's a system. They created us a wonderful system. Okay, let's just go through this now. So we spoke about the different worlds, right? We started with the world of Atzilut. That's the highest world. Then it goes down to the world of Bria, Yetzira, and then it goes down to the world of Asiyah, okay? When we daven, okay, we discussed this and we'll discuss it again till we get it, okay? We start out in the morning and we say the Birchas HaShachar, the brachot in the morning, and then we do the karbanot, right? We're in this world. The karbanot, we're in this world. That's in this world. And then when we finish the karbanos, we say the Amar Rabbi Yishmael, right? And then and then after that there's a Kaddish, right? There's a Kaddish, right? So we're really supposed to always make sure that the Kaddish is said at that time. Why? Because the rabbis teach us that Kaddish, that Amen Yehesh Me Rabbah, shoots us up to the next world. So you think you're sitting in Shira David, and you're davening, you're saying these words, but now you just were sent to another place. You took a nice trip. You took a great trip, first class. Right? First class. The way you answered Yamen Heshmei Rabbah is how you get your ticket. Okay? The better you do a job, the better you go up. Right? That's it. Okay? Now you're in the next world. Now you say the Psuki de Zimra. Now you're in the world of Yetzirah. Right? You're in this world. Right? And now you want to get past it. You want to get to the next world. So they gave you the magical words. Right? The magical words. You say these words and you pay attention to what you're saying, it's going to prepare you for the trip to get to the next world of Bria. Wow.
The first stage of the rocket fell off.
What? No, wait.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you finish the Psuki de Zimra, you say the Yishtabach, right? We praise Hashem, the greatest praises, right? Mm-hmm. Right? And then we say the Kaddish again, right? The Amen Yehesh Me Rabbah, right? Yeah. Here we go. Now we go to the world of Bria. Now we make our world self we go to the next level. We're getting closer. We're getting closer, right? All when you're sitting in your chair. It's unbelievable, right? Look what's going on. Right? And then you finish, you say the Birchas Kriya Shema, right? The blessings on the Kriya Shema, then you say the Kriya Shema, right? And then you get to the Shmona Esrei, and when you say Hashem Sefasai Tiftach, now you go to Atzilut. Now you take another next trip to the next world. Now that's where the light came from. Remember, the shards all fell down, but the light stayed there. Isn't that amazing?
Amazing.
Every single day we take this trip. But you need these words, Mordechai, to do that. See, you may speak beautiful words to Hashem, but you don't know the mystical combination of the words to get you to be where you're supposed to be at that time. You understand? So that's why it's so important that you spend the time to study those words, to understand what is it? What's in these words? There's something in these words. They didn't randomly pick words.
Well, but
No, they didn't randomly. Okay, 1 second. Did you ever use a combination lock? Like, let's say on a safe, right? This is like a whole thing, right? You got to go 6 times this way, that way, that way, right? But if you miss one thing,
it won't open.
It won't open. That's how the Psuki de Zimra is. You got to say, the Rambam says, when you say the words of Psuki de Zimra, you're supposed to say the words like you're counting your money. Like you're counting your money. You're an accountant, right? When you're counting your money, you count it you're very careful about it, right? You don't want to make a mistake, right? You don't want to make a mistake, right? You want to give the right change. You don't want to give too much change, right? You want to make sure you collect enough money and they don't cheat you, right? So you count it carefully, right? That's how the Rambam says you're supposed to say the words of Psuki de Zimra.
I don't know them well. I mean, it's not that I don't know. It's
so fix it.
You want to know? I'm 71 years old, and now I'm learning this.
Good.
Shame on our system. And we wonder why we're losing.
No. Thank God for the system that you're here and you're 70. Now you're doing it.
Okay, what about the kids who don't know that? We wonder why kids are leaving Judaism. They're going to atheism, and I'm sorry. This is like a problem.
Mordechai, we're working on it.
We should be working on it with our 2-year-olds.
They are. If you go to, let's say, you go to any of the Hasidic schools, right?
The Hasidic schools are not the only Jews.
Okay, I understand, but Mordechai, but that's the other Jews.
What happened to the Vilna Gaon and teaching the kids and what they taught them and how to teach people and all that stuff? I'm sorry, but this is real.
Okay. But
I know it's a distraction. I apologize.
No. It's okay. Okay.
Add something to what he was saying. You were saying the crossing the narrow bridge. You open that and you see the suggestions for your text or tefillah. So basically, this is watered down version of the Psuki de Zimra. Psuki de Zimra is pretty much the same thing, but it's just like on such a much higher level than this. That
So
you
how do I
need to-
learn
So,
that
so wait,
system?
listen. I'm going to explain it to you. Wait, listen, please, let's get back to. Can we get back to the lesson, please?
Yes, I'm sorry.
No. I want to get this.
Okay.
Please,
I'm sorry.
please.
right.
We'll talk about this a little later. Okay, now. So now, when it comes to these shards, they came from a place of chesed, right? They came from a place of chesed. Chesed is the same thing as ahava, love, right? So now, what comes in this world? These shards, they are misplaced love. Misplaced love. What does that mean? What are we supposed to love? We're supposed to love Hashem. But really, what's the world? They love everything else other than Hashem. Specifically, things of sexual promiscuity, right? That's where the world is going, right? They love that, right? Where does it come from? Why? Why is that so much in the world? Why is that so powerful? Because that's what these shards are doing. They come from this misplaced chesed. So every time, that's why Tikkun Abris is so important. Because how do you connect to the light? How can you get this light, and how can you get this? By having the Tikkun Abris. When we have the Tikkun Abris, we're careful what we see, we're careful what we do, we're careful who we speak to, right? All of that stuff.
Tefillin.
We're getting...
What we look at, what we say, what we hear.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. This is the. I'm giving you the introduction to get to this. The tefillin, okay? Slowly, okay. Okay, so then you can get to the nekuda shleimus. You can get to the shleimus. What's the shleimus? Which is your side, which is the aside. Right, the aside is the shleimus. That's how you get to the aside. And how do you get to that? By tikkun abris. That's why Rabbi Nachman says it's so important that tikkun klali. Right? Why is it so important? Shmira senayim, what you see. Right? Because what we have to be careful what we see, because what we see causes the heart to desire, and then we wind up doing the wrong things. Right?
It all goes back to forming what's in our brain.
It's all in our exactly. That's right. It's all there. That's it. That's how it works. Yep. That's it. That's the whole thing in a nutshell.
Those are the pieces that go influence our brain when we let them in.
Why did you need all this?
What?
Why did Hashem needed to break all this?
No, he did this to allow that we can have bechira. We can have free choice in this world. Hashem wants us to have free choice.
He wants us to
find
sin
him.
so we can do tshuva.
Hashem did this. The game of hide go seek. The kids like to play, right? They love that game, right? The kids, they go hide and I got you, right? That's Hashem made that game. He made that game. He designed that game. This whole world is that game. You ever realize that? This world is that game. Hashem is hiding. Find me. Hashem says, I want you to find me.
It's in this girl over here. That's where it is.
But that's the misplaced. Exactly. That's the misplaced love. Exactly. So that's why the HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants us to have bechira, because you have no more enjoyment in life than when you actually find God. When you actually discover, wow, I can be connected to Hashem. That's a great simcha in a person's life. If anyone ever gets to experience that, to feel, wow, I could be connected to Hashem.
So this is a
right? People want to be connected to politicians. People want to be connected to wealthy people, business people, powerful people, right? Why? I can connect myself to Hashem. He runs all of that. Why do I need them for?
So my question is, I have experienced feeling connected to Hashem, and it's an amazingly beautiful thing.
Okay.
Through Hitbodadut. So, is that the state we're trying to stay in when we're even doing other things that are
yes.
Like
it was supposed to filter. It's supposed to filter into the day. Yes, that's right. But
when I'm doing my accounting work, am I feeling connected to Hashem?
No, but when you work on it, yes, you can. It's not that there's serving God and now I'm an accountant.
Yeah.
And now I'm a plumber, now I'm an electrician, now I'm a carpenter, now I'm a video guy, right? Cameraman, right? No, it's all the same thing. Being a cameraman, being an accountant, being the plumber, being the whatever profession you do, is really serving God if you know how to do it. That's what we're learning. See, the Vilna Gaon said that really you stay and learn Torah. That's it. Don't go into the world. Stay in the base medrash. Don't go into the world because the world's a dangerous place. And it is. Because of what we just learned. Right? The world's a dangerous place. You have all those shards out there that are all trying to attack me all the time. So the Vilna Gaon said, okay, stay in the base medrash, learn, keep your head in the Gemara all day, and you won't get in trouble. He's right. But you know what the problem is? But wait a second, but you know what the problem is? We
can't fix the world by ourselves.
No. The problem is we came down into this world to make a repair.
Right.
We came into this world. All of us came here. We have to fix something. So the Baal Shem Tov says, how do you know what to fix? I don't know. He didn't give me a manual. I don't know. You know, like when you buy something, right, they give you a manual, read the manual, you know what to do with it, right? We're born, we don't get manuals. So how do we know? The Baal Shem Tov said, how am I supposed to know what my tafkid is in this world? What's my goal? What's my purpose here? How do I know? You know what he said? Whatever the Yetzer Hara challenges you the most with, that's your job.
Right.
That's your job. Everyone has a different challenge. Everybody has a different challenge. But how do I know why I'm in this world? How can I ever know why I'm in this world? Based on what how the Yetzer Hara acts to me. What he puts in front of me. What he tries to entice me with. But when I fix my mind and I understand and I fill my mind with all of these beautiful ideas, how I'm close to Hashem, how I'm traveling in my tefillas, how I'm going. Once you take a nice trip, if you ever go on you enjoy that, right? I don't want to miss out on my vacation, right? I don't want to miss the vacation. No one wants to miss the vacation, right? So every morning I can take my trip. If I'm going to go look at this thing now, that's going to damage my ticket. I won't be able to go on the trip. Why am I going to look at that?
Leverage.
What?
Leverage.
Yeah. That's what we're learning, how to leverage yourself the right way. I want to do the right thing. So that's what tefillin is going to help us with. Okay, that's what tefillin is going to help us with. So let's learn a little bit inside. Do we have a few more minutes? Yeah, okay, good. So we'll go till 8 o'clock, is okay?
Yeah.
Okay,
we
good.
can go till noon if you want.
Okay. Mitzvahs, so the Rebbe says now in Halacha Beis, okay? Halacha Beis. Mitzvahs tefillin al pi amama v'atem tilim ila mamleches kayanim v'goy kodesh ayin sham b'likutey maran. You could look this up, which is lesson Lamed Dalet. Heitiv kol hamayim. I just gave you the preview of the lesson, what the lesson was trying to do, and that's what I just gave you a little bit of introduction based on that. So let's try to learn now, okay? Aleph. We did Aleph. Okay. Now, no, Aleph. Right, Aleph. Vaklal. Sha'omnam that shall yedei nekuda kedosha, that through this nekuda kedosha, through this holy point, nekuda. Right, in the point. She or ahava hakedosha hashayra b'chinas tzaddik. So this nekuda we're talking about, this light, the light that where is it connected to? This is the shefa chadash. This is a new shefa that HaKadosh Baruch Hu sends into the world, which is from the Ora Tikkun, which is from the light of Tikkun, of repair. Shua Nikud. This is the Nikuda, the Or Ahava Kedosha. That's what. That's in HaKadosh Baruch Hu and Yisrael. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, of course, is Kedusha, right? Klal Yisrael, we also have Kedusha in us, right? We also have sanctity.
We're part of him.
We're part of him, right? And the tzaddik has a little bit better connection. Why? Because the tzaddik is more in tune with the neshama, he's more in tune with his light and the vessels and how to bring the light into the world. So that's why we have to always be connected to the tzaddik. Why do we have to be connected to the tzaddik? Because that's why the tzaddik can help fix me, right? I from the impression.
Tuning me. He's a tuner.
He's piano.
Tuning you. Okay, that's good. Okay. Bechinas a tzaddik, which is the tzaddik, and each one of us is a tzaddik on our own way. Each one of us. Why? Because each one of us has something in us. We have that nekuda taiva in us that's better than my friend. Right? I may do one thing better than you'll do. You do something better than I do. So in that aspect, you're a tzaddik because you do something so very well. Right? You have your mitzvah. Right? Everybody has their special mitzvah that they love, that's very near and dear to them. Right? Everyone has a different mitzvah. Right? One person loves to give charity. One person loves to I don't know, help people with different things. I know that everyone has different things. Everybody is different. Okay?
Sorry, I have to back up just for a second. So the shards.
Yeah.
Are we trying to collect those shards?
Yeah, we elevate the shard. Yeah, we can elevate them.
So what's wrong if they're chasing us?
Because
They're attached to us.
because the shard is attached to impurity, right?
Because it's in this world.
Because it's lacking the light.
It's lacking the light.
The light it fell down without the light.
Without the light. Okay, that was a piece.
So
of
now that
it wants
shard
some light. But
it
it has to
wants
give you
light.
some impurity before we're going to get to the light, which is up there.
Exactly.
He's trying to get to our souls so he can get to the light.
Exactly.
And we have to deal with the fact that he's bringing us some impurity. Like the Yetzer Hara might be bringing us an impurity, which is a shard, which is trying to get to the light.
Yes, yeah. I'll just want to tell you this one thing. Hold on. So I mentioned this before in Hilchas Birchas Hareach. It's the most remarkable thing. The Reb Nosson brings a teaching from the Arizal that says that we were scattered out amongst the nations of the world in order to bring us back to Eretz Yisrael.
Like the shards.
Yeah, wait. So Rav Nosson asks a question on this. He says, but wait a second. We were scattered amongst the nations of the world to be brought back to Eretz Yisrael. But wait a second, we were in Eretz Yisrael. What happened? We were in Israel.
We were like a vessel. The shards
We were in Israel. What happened? We got sent away. And then Rav Nosson says, wait a second, we got sent away, and through that, we're going to all come back to Eretz Yisrael? We're going to come back to Israel? Rav Nosson uses the example about the guy that goes to Moscow in his time. Sasha, okay, in his time. Okay? In his time. He said that the Moscow at that time was the head of the Haskalah, right? The Enlightened movement. At the time, the conservative reform movement, right? It was known as the Enlightened movement.
Was
Lashon Naki.
the Baal Shem Tov there at that time too? Is that
No.
or is that
Yeah,
What?
but he wasn't part of it.
after the Baal Shem Tov? Or before the Baal Shem Tov?
It was after the Baal Shem Tov. Reb Nosson was after the Baal Shem Tov.
Right. Okay.
And the Enlightenment was after the Baal Shem Tov.
It was after the Baal Shem Tov. Yeah. It was in the time of Rabbi Nachman. It was in that time, about 200 years ago. 230, somewhat, whatever it was, okay? That's when it started, okay? So Reb Nosson said, so wait a second, so this guy, this Jew, that was living in maybe Poland, or he was living in a nice shtetl with nice Jews, and the next thing he has this, and the next thing you know, he goes to Moscow. So now, how is he ever going to come back to Eretz Yisrael? You see, we see we're losing the Jews, and they're not coming back. But the Arizal said that we're going to be scattered, and we're going to come back to Eretz Yisrael, right? Rav Nosson says he's trying to understand it. I see Jews going off to Moscow. I see Jews going off to America, whatever example, right? And I see that they're getting lost, like you keep saying. They're lost. They're getting lost. So what is the Arizal talking about? That they're going to get scattered around, and they're going to come back to Israel. So Rav Nosson explains like this. And this is why it's in Hilchas Birchas Hareach. What is Birchas Harech? You were just talking about making the bracha on the tree, right? To make the bracha on the tree, right? But there's also when you smell a nice thing, you say bari mine b'samim, right? We have bari atzei b'samim, right? We have different things. We have different brachas pertaining to smelling, right? When we smell something, we make a blessing, right? Okay. So that's why Rav Nosson said it's in this chapter, okay? Because he says like this: when this Jew goes off to Moscow, or he goes off to where did the guys like to go today from here to Israel? Where did they go?
China,
What?
Indonesia.
No, Thailand.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
why are they attracted to go to Thailand? Because there are these different sparks in Thailand. So now, one second, so Rav Nosson explains this. This is fascinating. So now this Jew winds up coming to Thailand or anywhere.
Vietnam.
Now, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
These shards are all over the place. Okay, so now he comes to Thailand, and this Jew that was already not connected to Hashem, that was already a nice secular person. So now he goes to Taiwan, and this spark, those smells, he has a soul, his neshama. So the spark attaches itself to this guy. He smells it. The spark smells it. That's why it's in Hilchos Birchos Zareya, right? The spark smells a Jew. So he jumps on and he attaches himself to the Jew. So you think that's a good thing, right? No.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it is. It is, but it's not.
It's also not good.
It's also not good. Why? Because there's also the impurity and all of the stuff that was dumped on that spark over the years, all the impurity.
So we're
now,
collecting dust and bringing it back.
Wait a second. So now that thing jumps onto the Jew, and it drags him down further. So Rav Nosson says, wait a second, what's the Arizal talking about? How is he going to get back to Israel? We're all supposed to go to these places to come back to Eretz Yisrael. What's he talking about? So he says like this. He says, now this shard, this broken piece of pottery, okay? I'm just using that example, okay? It was too big for his neshama to be able to accept. It was too big. It's too big. So every time this Jew does another Aveira, because he attached himself to it, he breaks the spark again. He breaks it. He keeps shattering it more. It was a broken...
Into smaller pieces.
Into smaller pieces. And again. And he does another sin and he breaks it again. And he breaks it again until it's so tiny. There's such a little morsel. A little morsel that the thing is so tiny that his neshama can accept it. His neshama can accept it. Now if his neshama can accept it, it enlivens his neshama. This spark has in it the ability to enliven the neshama also. You understand? Now, then the Jew starts to think, what's going on? What am I doing here? What am I doing here? We see a lot of the Jews that they go to these places and then they wind up coming back, right?
Yeah, I got my first feeling in South Africa.
You see that?
Yeah, my first feeling in South Africa. I was secular totally. Over there, I got my first feeling. Birkat Amazon, yeah. First time I said it.
Perfect example. Thank you, Aaron, for sharing that.
There's going to be a Seder in Kathmandu with 4,000 Israelis.
Yeah.
Where? Indian Kathmandu?
In Nepal.
Wow, but 4,000 is right.
4,000.
Okay, good.
Kathmandu.
Okay, that's what we're talking about.
Himalayas.
Right, so okay, so you understand?
But they're in Israel, and then they're going out and coming back.
Yeah.
But we were thrown out.
We were in Israel. We were all in Israel, and we got thrown out. We have to come back. So that's how we're going to come back through these sparks that we keep talking about.
So we're going to sin so much, we're going to break all the little pieces, and we can all bring them back together.
Yeah, it's an amazing system that doesn't. It's hard to understand, but this is Hashem's system. He made the system in a certain way, and this is what He wants, the way the world is supposed to run. And how do we know? We see people come back. Go to Esha Torah, right, and see all the stories. You can go on their website and see all the stories, how people came back from where they came.
And I would say myself, but what about all the other people that are, I guess, in time?
They'll have their turn too, Amir Hashem. We have to daven for them. That's upon us to daven for those Jews, right? When we were learning tzitzis, right? When we take the 4 tzitzis, we gather them in. We're trying to help all those Jews that are stuck out there, right? We gather in the tzitzis from the 4 corners. Remember? You see the lessons that we could tie them all together.
Yeah.
Our own kids.
Our kid, anyone's kids.
Yeah.
When they say when you daven for someone else, you'll get answered quicker, right? Hamispalu ba'ad chaverchu nene tchila, right? Is that what they say? Chazal say, right? I daven for you, and you daven for me. We'll both get answered a lot quicker, right?
Yes, because
I care for you. Because I'm showing I care for somebody else. That's what it's all about.
Okay.
I'm caring about somebody else. It's not just about me and my problem. I care about you. Loving your friend.
See, that can also be misused.
What?
Because for example, in business, I can sell you better than I can sell myself.
Okay.
So I could use you to get a parnasa or make money because I know you'll be accepted more readily than I'll be accepted because I'm talking about you and I'm not talking about me.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
It's not misused.
No.
Well, if it's doing for evil, like to steal from someone.
No. We're not talking about doing evil.
No, I know.
We're talking about doing good.
No, but you can always do good. You can do evil.
We're talking about doing good here.
Yes.
Okay. I guess we'll stop here for now. We had a lot of information, right? A lot of information.
More than information. It's not just information.
No. You have to
than
process. Then we have to process it. We'll have to process it. Okay, so when we're going to continue, but I'm telling you, it's going to get deeper and much more beautiful. You'll understand. You can understand life a little bit better. Hopefully, see, you had your question. Why isn't going to? We gave you an answer now. Why all these other people and what's going to be with them too? Okay.
So it's like the